not a cult. This is what the early believers believed before the Catholic Church and other heretics had said it.
Yes.
Montichiahu. Now here, I love this, man. Now hang on. How many have their harness on?
Come on. Oh, we straight. We straight.
Now watch this. So the question goes, another good question, and I think I discussed this before. Why is he the seed of David or the son of David?
Yeah.
If he's not a human being, then why does the word of Yahweh refer to him as the son of David or the seed of David? Let's do this. We already did the seed, right?
Yep.
In order to appear among us, he had to choose a family and a tribe. He chose Judah and the house of Israel, David's family. If he didn't choose a family, he would have been stuck in heaven. In order to come down, he had to find a family through whom he would visit humanity. He had to find a family and he had to find a tribe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And by finding the family and by finding the tribe, he visited humanity. But if he chose no family and no tribe, then he couldn't visit humanity. And then that's why we need the genealogies. Do you understand? That's why we need the genealogies, to show us which family the word of Yahweh chose, through which family to visit the human race.
Okay.
Hold on. It don't get simpler than that. Amen? But that's not the main point. Watch this. Montichiahu. Todah Rabbi Yahweh. This is addendum, Chris, just so you'll know. Addendum to whole wheat, unleavened bread. Addendum, whole wheat, unleavened bread. Addendum. Montichiahu, 22:41. You'll see, brothers and sisters, not much has changed. They didn't get it either. If they did, they would have accepted him. We have accepted him, but some of us are still eating Wonder Bread, processed by the doctrine and bleached of its nutrients by the doctrine of organized religion. Make any sense?
Yep.
Montichiahu, 22:41. While the Prushim were gathered together, Yeshua asked them, now, transport yourself in time.
Come on.
Go back to that first century. Here's what Yeshua wants to know if you understand. Yeshua wants to know if you understand.
Okay.
Whole wheat, unleavened bread. You ready? Yeshua, while the Prushim were gathered together, Yeshua asked them. If Yeshua asks you a question, you ought to have an answer. Be ready to give an answer to every man that asks you for the reason of the hope that lies within you.
Amen. Amen. That's right. Amen.
Yeshua wants to ask you a question. Those who still doubt that Yeshua was 1,000,000% Yahweh, 0% human being, but fully clothed in a human outfit, fully clothed in humanity, and yet not a human being. If you still doubt, you won't doubt, and the kisses will start coming. But please, give me the light version. Okay? Kiss light. Todah Rabbi Yahweh. The Prushim were gathered together, and Yeshua asked them, saying, hey guys, what's up? What's happening? Are you guys busy being religious? Cool. Do you enjoy being lost? Hey, what's up? Now, it's his turn to ask the question. What do you think about the Mashiach? Verse 42. Whose seed is he? Whose son is he? They said, oh, he's the seed of David. He's the son of David. Isn't that what everyone who doesn't understand this message is saying? He has to be human because he's the seed of David or the son of David or the descendant of David. So he's a human being because we know he came from the family lineage of David. We know that's why the genealogies are in the Bible, to show us that he came from a human family. Wrong. He didn't come from a human family. He entered humanity through a human family. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hey, what do you think about Mashiach? Whose son is he? Whose seed is he? And they said to him, Ben David. The seed of David, the family of David, the royal house of David. And Yeshua said, really? So you believe, listen, look at me, Pharisees, not you Pharisees, those Pharisees. He's saying, listen, Pharisees. He's saying, you believe that Mashiach is going to be a fully human Mashiach. Right on, Yeshua. You believe that he's going to be the sperm, the physical sperm of David, right? That's right. You believe he's going to be born of the family of David, like any other human being is born through the combination of a sperm and an egg, right? That's right. Yeshua said, well, if that is right, then I have another question for you. How then and why then does David, by the Ruach, in the Ruach, not by his education, but in the Ruach, by the Ruach, why does David call him the Master Yahweh?
Because he's the son of Yahweh.
Hey guys, Mashiach, whose son is he? Whose son is Mashiach? They said, oh, we know. He's going to be the offspring, the seed of David. Yeshua said, really? That's not the answer. That's not the correct answer. If he's only the offspring of David, then how come David doesn't call him my offspring via sperm or human descendancy? David calls his son Yahweh. Not 100% Yahweh, 100% man, 50% Yahweh. No, David in the Ruach called him only Yahweh, even though he was David's son. David, King David, in the Ruach, called him the Master Yahweh, saying, the Master Yahweh said to my Master Yahweh, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool. Psalm 110 verse 5. Yahweh at the right hand of Yahweh will destroy the enemies of Yahweh. Yahweh, Psalm 110 verse 5, Yahweh at the right hand of Yahweh. So if Yeshua is David's son, meaning a human implication, if he's just another human being, or any kind of a human being, how come David, knowing that the Messiah would come from his tree or his family, still referred to him only? Turn to your neighbor and say only. Only. Only as the Master Yahweh. So then when we see that term, son of David, seed of David, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Mary was the seed of David.
It means what it means. It means exactly what it's supposed to mean. That when Yeshua chose to visit, he chose that family to stay with. When you visit your family, you could visit your family, you could visit a different family, you could visit any family you like. You choose the family to visit. He visited the earth by choosing to become one of David's descendants. One of David's descendants, yet not having his ancestors' sperm or ovum. Because now I'm going to close with this, because this can go on forever. If I want you to understand the implications of continuing to believe that Yeshua was both Yahweh and man, in order for him to be a man, he had to inherit his human flesh from either his mother or his father. It says in Luke 1:47 that his mother was a sinner. If Yahweh fertilized the egg, that's what I used to believe. Yahweh came by the Ruach HaKodesh, and through the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh fertilized the egg. Now what do? How do we explain that to the Jewish people? We don't worship Zeus, but we worship a different pagan god. He's half man and half deity. His name isn't Zeus, his name is Jesus. How do you explain that? And Yahweh said, Yeshua said, whose son is Mashiach? And they said, oh, he's a human being, he's one of David's children. Yeshua said, no, he's not. If he was one of David's human children, why did David call him Yahweh?
Come on.
And now watch the response. Well, that's not over. Watch this. Watch this. Look at verse 44. Shh. Yahweh was the seed and the ovum. Yahweh was the seed and the egg. How? I don't know. He took the Ruach HaKodesh, took an egg that was pure and set apart, and conceived the Holy One of Israel.
Made it pure.
Shh. It had to be purity both sides. Because there was no sin in him.
It couldn't have been.
That purity, that's the virgin birth. The reason the devil wants to invent a doctrine called the Immaculate Conception. How many have ever heard of the doctrine called the Immaculate? You know what that is? Mary was born without sin. You know why the devil has propagated that doctrine? To make Yeshua 100% human and 100% Yahweh. Because if Mary had no sin, then everything we're saying is wrong. Then Mary's egg was pure. But that's not what Mary said. Mary said, my egg is sinful. So why would the Holy Spirit borrow my sinful egg to produce a half God and a half sinner?
Jews would reject it.
And well, they should. Well, they should.
Had to be a hole.
Now watch the reaction of the Pharisees. Look at verse 44.
Had to be a hole.
The Master Yahweh said to my master,
Sit down.
sit on my, yes, that's more like it.
When I make that
There you go. That's it. I believe the Ruach produced the egg and then fertilized the egg. Now what do? Now you've got Yahweh clothed in humanity, in flesh. But not human flesh. That flesh came from above. Now watch this. So in other words, the virgin birth is a greater miracle than we believe. Yahweh didn't impregnate a human egg. He produced an egg which was not human and a sperm which was not human. And I don't know how he did it, but he did. And that thing, that Kadosh one, grew up before us.
Come on.
Watch this. The Master Yahweh said to my master, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. Now watch this. Verse 45. Shh. Watch first. Look at verse 45. If David calls him Yahweh, how can he be David's seed?
From Mary. It's a good question.
Isn't that what I'm trying to tell you? Mary Gilby, isn't that what I'm trying to tell you? If David calls him Yahweh, then how is he David's seed? He's not. You guys think he is. Read it again. Go ahead and read it.
Never did.
Get him, gangster.
Pardonnez-moi.
Never did.
I will assume that was a compliment.
Never did.
Either that, Daryl, I'll make believe I never heard it.
All right now.
Now, if that's the kind of gangster rap that raps for Yahweh, count me in.
All right, yes.
I mean, check this out. Look at this. In 4 simple verses. If Yeshua HaMashiach is David's seed or sperm or human, son of, in any way, shape, or form, human, anyway, 50%, 80%, 30%, 20%, 100%, if he's anyway, turn your neighbor and say anyway.
Anyway.
If he's anyway the seed or sperm or son of David, so then David calls his son Yahweh. So how could he be David's son? Now look at verse 46. You think what I'm saying to you is something easy to understand? Very difficult. Because look at verse 46. Nobody was able to talk back. They were so confused that no man was able to answer him. Let's look at that again, verse 46. Look at verse 46. He shut up a whole bunch of religious folks, and if you think that's easy, try it sometime. Religious folks love to tell you and show you that they're right. And he got a whole bunch of religious folks to shut up all at one time. Talk to me, somebody. Now watch this. no man was able to answer him, not forget about any more questions. They couldn't open their mouth. Why? They were so stunned by the implication of what he was saying that no one asked, no one dared. I believe in another translation it says, no one dared.
Ask him any questions.
Thank you, Darrell.
They know what they were talking
No one dared. No more questions, Rabbi. I accept it. No more questions. No more questions. Now I understand.
From that point on.
This miracle is so miraculous that Yahweh produced both the egg and the sperm and conceived it by surrogate in Miriam's womb. It was a greater miracle than I thought. And of course, he's a son of David because he chose David's family to appear. He could have chosen John King Kong or Mao Zedong, who he could have chosen any family to appear. He chose the family of David. That doesn't mean he's in any way gets any humanity from David's family.
Right. Come on.
And when the Pharisees were confronted with the fact